let's begin this afternoon with private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu, who is rallying support from members of the general public to petition Parliament for Health Minister Kpebu to be tried by the House for perjury. It comes as a parliamentary committee that probed the Sputnik V vaccine deal revealed government paid Dubai-based businessman Sheikh Al Maktoum more than 16 million cedis for the vaccines, despite claims by the health minister under oath during the public hearing that no money had been paid. There have been calls for the minister to be sacked after the report was made public. A motion by the minority to have the minister censored was deferred by the speaker just before the House rose. But speaking on Newsfile, Martin Kpebu says the minister should have gone a long time ago.
Mr. Ajimamenu is now embarrassing us as a country. It's as if he's our best talent for that job. But we all know he's not. You see, that's why maybe it appears he doesn't understand public service. Look, there are 1,001 citizens who can perform that job. The president chose him, but he has taken us down a path that has embarrassed us so much. So he just has to go quietly. But you see that he's digging in his heels. And then you have some of our citizens holding press conferences to support him. It cannot be supported. Let's come to this. Samson, you see, the last time we raised this, we mentioned that, look, money must have been paid because even the agreement for the procurement of the vaccine, clause 4.2, itself says that we're to pay for the vaccine with a site LC. Samson, it says site LC.
Right.
From the little understanding, this site LC means when the goods have been delivered, sometimes even not delivered, it's possible for the person to be paid. That's the exporter, the person who supplied, depending on how the contract is worded. But bottom line is that whether the contractor or the exporter should be paid because the goods have left the country of export, or even in Ghana, once you say site LC, it has certain meanings, okay, that certain documents will be presented. So the argument I'm making is that even without this payment that has first come out, the contract that he signed means that payment was to be made soon after the latest, soon after the 20,000 vaccines were delivered. So on what basis could the minister go to Parliament to say that nothing has been paid? Is Al Maktoum Father Christmas? Is Al Maktoum Father Christmas that he'll give you vaccines, 20,000, and not receive payment? So you see that this thing that he hasn't paid, that's why I believe we have to press the issue of perjury very hard, because Ajimamenu is not leaving, and so we have to make the law bite. And in this direction, I'm thinking that I want citizens to join me so that we will present a joint petition to Parliament so that he'll be tried for the perjury in Parliament, okay? Because under the Constitution, if somebody obstructs justice in Parliament, he has to face the law.
And the latest to call for the resignation of the health minister is Occupy Ghana. In the last few hours, they've released a statement, and I'll read excerpts of that statement to you. It says, "It is clear to us from the above that the health minister entered into an international business transaction and paid or supervised the payment of monies under the transaction without parliamentary approval, without cabinet approval, without procurement authorities' approval or ratification, and without the endorsement advice of the Attorney General. We do not think that the emergency situation created by the pandemic and the agency required constituted sufficient reasons to bypass all of these steps that are required by law. As Parliament has indicated, it would have acted with the speed and urgency that the emergency required had the request for the approval been made to it. We further struck that although payment was made under the transaction, the minister said he did not know about it as at when he testified before Parliament. Contrary to this claim, the health minister was copied in the letter from the 31st March 2021 from Acting Comptroller and Accountant General to the Bank of Ghana, requesting the Bank of Ghana to make the advance payment to Al Maktoum from the Health Ministry's account. It is unbelievable that at each of these stages of payment requests, the accompanying supporting documents did not include the approvals mentioned above. It is on the basis of the foregoing that we demand that the health minister resigns from office, even if he meant well under emergency circumstances. Those did not justify bypassing our constitutional and statutory processes. If the health minister does not resign of his own accord, then we call on the president to relieve him of his post. While calling for his resignation, we also believe that Ghanaians ought to be told which other officials were involved in processing and paying the monies without demanding and seeing the requisite approvals. Those officials ought to be similarly sanctioned. Also, Ghanaians should be told when we expect to receive a full refund of the outstanding amount from the recipient. Further, this incident and several others before it bring again into sharp focus the refusal, neglect, or failure of Parliament to enact the law that will clarify Article 181, Clause 5, as demanded by the Constitution itself. Article 1815 of the Constitution applies its loan approval procedures involving parliamentary approval to international business and economic transactions in the following terms. This article shall, with the necessary modifications by Parliament, apply to an international business or economic transaction to which the government is a party as it applies to a loan. And clearly, although the framers of the Constitution wanted such transactions to be parliamentary, to have parliamentary oversight, they anticipated that some modifications will be necessarily required to make them opposite, and therefore empowered Parliament to take legislative action in that regard. And that's based on the accident of litigation. The Supreme Court has compared not only to interpret Article 1815, but to make rules governing its application. And so this is the statement that was issued by Occupy Ghana. It goes on to say, we therefore call upon Parliament to, as a matter of urgency, draft, consider and pass the required legislation that will give to Article 1815 the clarity anticipated by the framers of the Constitution, demanded by the Supreme Court and prayed for by the Executive through the Attorney General, and it's issued by Occupy Ghana. Now, in a related development, the vice chair of the parliamentary committee that probed the Sputnik V vaccine deal, Kwabena Mintakando, says even though the censure motion was deferred by the speaker, he will continue to pursue the matter until the over 16 million cedis paid is refunded to the state.
When we're debating the report on the floor of the House, our leaders sought to amend the motion to include censorship. The question has been deferred. Probably will continue when we resume. But the point is that I'm going to follow up with a parliamentary question to make sure that we have evidence to the effect that the money has really been refunded to the state and other issues. So we will. It's unfortunately, that is my job. I'm the ranking member on the committee. Yeah. So, yes, whether you like it or you don't like it, I must also live up to expectation. So, we will do our best.
Procurement analyst Kwabena Kpebu believes that apart from the health minister, the finance minister, and all civil servants who were involved in the deal would have to be questioned.
Technical people behind them who know their job, who should be advising them on the bureaucracy and how to handle it. Where are those people? Those people should be responsible. Actually, they should be whipped in this, not the ministers. The ministers will take ultimate responsibility, but there were technical people, and these are the people who are not doing Ghana any good.
Still, what are
now, as to being able to retrieve the money, yes, we've paid money. It hasn't been supplied. It is part of the processes. If you are pulling out the out of a contract, once termination triggers, there are actions that follow with termination. Part of it is recovering all assets from the other part. Our money is part of the assets, and we should be able to recover it. But you see, it depends on how the contract was structured. And I have seen a number of government contracts with third parties, which are very weak.
Okay, what are your fears? Is it the case that, or are you worried we probably may not get the money back because of the way we structured the contract?
We may end up chasing rabbits through their holes, and it will not come back unless we are ready to go through the international courts to pursue and collect it, which we must.